They thought he was just a homeless man until one phone call shattered their careers. Imagine this. A quiet diner, people eating breakfast, everything normal, until two cops burst through the door and marched straight toward a lonely man in a faded military jacket. They don't ask questions. They don't listen. They don't care. They grab him, humiliate him, threaten him, all because of how he looks. But what they don't know is that this man, Marcus Hale, is no ordinary diner customer. He's a decorated black combat veteran, a hero who saved lives overseas, and the moment he reaches for his phone, everything changes. With one call, a powerful military general answers instantly. And suddenly, the two officers who thought they could bully a homeless man realize they just picked a fight with someone who has more honor, more courage, and more connections than they ever will. This is the story of how two officers went from confident to terrified, and how one man's dignity, lost for years, was restored in a moment no one inside that diner will ever forget. Stay with me, because what happens next doesn't just end their careers. It changes Marcus's entire life. Hey, don't you dare touch that coffee. Those sharp, hostile words sliced through the peaceful morning inside Maple Junction Diner like a blade. The clatter of plates, the soft hum of casual conversation, even the sizzling from the kitchen. Everything froze instantly. Heads turned. Forks hovered midair. It was as if the entire diner collectively held its breath, unsure whether to blink or stay frozen in the tension that suddenly filled the room. Two uniformed officers, Sergeant Wilkes and Officer Trent, stormed through the doorway with heavy boots and heavier attitudes. Their entrance didn't feel protective. It felt invasive, as though law enforcement had arrived not to serve, but to intimidate. Wilkes carried himself with the swagger of someone accustomed to being feared, while Trent looked like he was trying to mimic his partner's bravado. In the far corner booth sat Marcus Hale, shoulders slumped beneath an old, faded military jacket that told countless stories of hardship, cold nights, and battles both physical and emotional. His beard was rough, unshaven. His eyes carried a weariness carved into the souls of people who have survived far more than anyone around them could imagine. Marcus, a homeless veteran, came here every Thursday. It was the one place where kindness still found him, thanks to Mrs. Ramirez, the diner's kind-hearted owner, who insisted weekly that he take a free cup of coffee without judgment. But today, he hadn't even touched the cup when trouble arrived. Officer Trent slammed his palm on Marcus's table so hard the mug rattled dangerously. "We got a call about a suspicious drifter bothering customers." "That you?" Marcus lifted his gaze, calm, steady, unshaken. "I'm just having my coffee. I'm not bothering anyone." Sergeant Wilkes scoffed, loudly enough for everyone to hear. "You're loitering. You're trespassing. And you're blocking this booth. You need to leave now." The diner fell silent, tension thick as concrete. Mrs. Ramirez rushed forward. "He's done nothing wrong." Wilkes silenced her with a glare. "Ma'am, unless you want trouble, stay out of police business." Humiliation burned inside Marcus. He'd survived gunfire and war zones. Yet here, in a diner, he was treated like a problem. Officer Trent grabbed his arm. "Let's go, old man." Marcus spoke softly but firmly. "You don't want to do this." Wilkes smirked. "Oh, we do." Trent tightened his grip, expecting Marcus Hale to fold, to tremble, to obey like someone beaten down by life. Instead, Marcus rose slowly and calmly, moving with the quiet strength of someone who had endured far worse than two aggressive officers in a diner. He didn't resist, didn't panic. He simply met each officer's gaze with an unshakable steadiness. "Before you drag me anywhere," Marcus said evenly, "ask yourself one thing. Do you know who I am?" Wilkes rolled his eyes in exaggerated annoyance. "Yeah, some homeless guy who needs to move. Don't make this complicated." Marcus nodded gently, almost pitying the man. "That's what I thought." Feeling the eyes of the entire diner watching him, Marcus reached slowly into his jacket pocket. Instantly, the officers tensed, stepping back as though he might pull a weapon. Chairs scraped. Customers gasped. "Relax," Marcus said, his voice calm despite the tension. He pulled out nothing but an old, cracked mobile phone, the kind of device someone keeps because it's the only thing they have left. Without hesitation, He tapped a contact and placed the phone on speaker. It rang once. A powerful voice answered immediately. General Briggs speaking. Who's this? The diner went silent, dead silent. Marcus kept his eyes on the officers. Sir, it's Corporal Marcus Hale. I'm at Maple Junction Diner, and 2 officers are attempting to remove me for doing nothing but having a coffee. A sharp, commanding tone replaced the calm voice on the phone. What? Marcus, are you hurt? Put me on speaker near them. Now. Marcus placed the phone on the table. Wilkes's confidence faltered. Trent swallowed hard. General, as in U.S. Army General, he whispered. Marcus didn't answer. He didn't need to. This wasn't just any veteran. This wasn't just any man. They were dealing with someone who clearly mattered to people far above their pay grade. The general's voice thundered through the diner. Officers, identify yourselves. Immediately. Wilkes and Trent paled. Their earlier arrogance slipped away as fast as it had appeared, because now they realized they hadn't just picked a fight with a homeless man. They had picked a fight with a hero. The general's booming voice rolled through the diner like thunder. Officers, identify yourselves. Now. Wilkes stiffened, forcing confidence into his voice. Sergeant Wilkes, City Police. Trent's voice cracked as he followed. Officer Trent, sir. General Briggs didn't waste a second. Sergeant, officer, are you aware Marcus Hale is a decorated combat veteran? He received 2 commendations for valor and personally saved my life and the lives of 12 soldiers in Afghanistan. And you're telling me you're harassing him over a cup of coffee? Whispers rippled through the diner. People leaned closer. Even the cooks peeked out from the kitchen door. Trent stammered. Sir General, we were just responding to a call. Someone said he was suspicious. A call, the general snapped. Or your own assumptions. Because from what I'm hearing, Marcus was minding his own business. Wilkes stepped forward. General, with respect. Stop talking. Briggs barked. Marcus Hale has permission directly from me to contact military command or the VA if he ever feels unsafe. He is under direct protection. And you 2 decided he was a threat. The general paused, letting his words settle like a storm cloud over their heads. Put the diner owner on the phone. Mrs. Ramirez hurried over, hands shaking. Why, yes, General. Has Marcus ever caused trouble? Never, she said firmly. He's kind, polite, and always grateful for the coffee. I've never even seen him raise his voice. A tense silence lingered. Thank you, ma'am, the general replied. We appreciate people like you. Wilkes began sweating. General, if we can just explain. We're not done, Briggs cut in. Officers, you will stay exactly where you are. Do not move a muscle. The general's voice lowered dangerously. I am contacting your chief right now. Gasps echoed. Trent whispered to Wilkes. This is bad, really bad. Shut up, Wilkes hissed. But he knew they were sunk. Seconds later, the phone chimed as another voice joined the call. Chief Dalton here. What's going on? And in that moment, every customer in the diner realized. This wasn't just a confrontation anymore. It was the beginning of consequences. Chief Dalton's voice filled the diner. All right, someone explain. Why is General Briggs calling me about 2 of my officers in a diner? General Briggs answered first, voice sharp as steel. Chief, your officers Wilkes and Trent just harassed a homeless black veteran, a decorated hero, who was peacefully drinking coffee. I want them suspended immediately pending investigation. The chief inhaled harshly. Not again. Wilkes, Trent, is this true? Silence. The worst kind. Answer me. The chief barked. Trent cracked under pressure. We didn't know who he was, sir. We thought. Wilkes elbowed him hard, but it was too late. The chief's tone shifted from stern to furious. You thought what? That because he looked homeless, he wasn't worth your respect? That he didn't belong in a diner? That he wasn't a human being? Neither officer had an answer, because there wasn't one. The chief exhaled in disappointment, the heavy kind that breaks careers. General, I assure you this department does not tolerate this behavior. Consider them suspended effective immediately. Wilkes's face reddened. Chief, we were just... No, the chief interrupted sharply. You've embarrassed this department too many times, Wilkes. You were on thin ice already. General Briggs added, I will also be filing a formal complaint. I want a full review of your department's conduct. Yes, sir, the chief replied, defeated. We'll begin paperwork today. General Briggs turned his voice toward Marcus. Marcus, I'm sorry this happened. Help is on the way. Marcus nodded softly. Thank you, sir. The phone disconnected. Wilkes and Trent stood frozen, badges suddenly feeling much heavier on their chests. They avoided eye contact with everyone, including each other. The chief spoke again, voice hard as concrete. Officers, return to the station. Turn in your weapons and badges until further notice. Trent swallowed hard. Yes, Chief. Wilkes clenched his jaw but said nothing. As they walked toward the exit, the diner's customers stared, not with fear, but with condemnation. Their authority meant nothing now. The door shut behind them with a final, humiliating clang. Inside, the tension slowly melted, replaced with relief. For the first time that morning, justice had a voice, and it sounded a lot like accountability. As the officers left, the diner seemed to exhale, releasing all the tension it had been holding since the confrontation began. Marcus slowly sat back down, shoulders dropping with a mixture of exhaustion and disbelief. Mrs. Ramirez hurried to his side, placing a gentle hand on his shoulder. Are you okay, Marcus? She asked softly. He nodded. I've been through worse, but thanks for standing up for me. Mrs. Ramirez smiled kindly. You've always been welcome here. Before she could say more, the phone buzzed again. Marcus picked it up. Marcus, General Briggs said, his tone now warm and reassuring. I've contacted the VA outreach team. Someone will arrive within the hour to assist you. You're getting housing support, medical care, and anything else you need. Marcus blinked, overwhelmed. Sir, I didn't expect all this. Marcus, the general replied, you've spent years putting others before yourself. You've carried burdens no one else saw. It's time someone carried a little for you. You're not alone anymore. The call ended. Marcus stared at his phone, gripping it like a lifeline. Slowly, customers began approaching him, not with pity, but with gratitude and respect. A middle-aged man stepped forward. Sir, thank you for your service. I'm sorry for what they did to you. A young woman placed a $20 bill on the table. For your next meal. And thank you. An elderly couple offered a warm smile. You're welcome here anytime. Marcus wasn't used to kindness. It felt unfamiliar, almost uncomfortable, but in a good way, like sunlight after years of cold. A tear escaped before he could stop it. As he finally lifted the warm cup of coffee to his lips, he whispered, almost to himself, maybe things really can change. Outside, Wilkes and Trent faced consequences they never saw coming. Inside, a veteran rediscovered something he thought was lost forever. Dignity, respect, hope. For the first time in a long time, Marcus didn't feel invisible. He felt seen. And all it took was one phone call. If you felt even a spark of emotion hearing Marcus's story, hit that like button to help more people understand the power of respect. And if you want more real, powerful, eye-opening stories just like this, make sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss the next story that deserves to be heard. Tell me in the comments, what would you have done if you were in that diner? Thanks for watching. Stay kind, stay aware, and I'll see you in the next story.